hey guys, this is Dr. Drake 63 here today, and going to talk a little bit more about a recent acquisition from an estate sale, specifically the stock that you see here, which is on this Winchester Pre-64. It's a 1959 Model 70, and we kind of talked about this. You guys kind of saw the condition this is in, which is great. Showed you how to adjust the trigger, and realized that what I really need to get the lightness that I want is a new trigger spring. That's on the way. Talk about that later, but I've had people ask me, what is this wood stock? What is this grain? What kind of wood is this? And I've had people ask me, is it burled walnut? Just what exactly is it? I was able to find out, and kind of interesting how that all took place. So this is called California Claro, and the way this is made, it's actually a graft. It's English walnut that is grafted to a black American walnut stump after a couple years of growth, which is amazing. I never knew that stuff like that happened. So because of that, you get a very, very cool pattern. It's certainly not cheap to make. I've had people suggest that what I need to do is checker this thing, and there's absolutely no way. I've had people make a lot of suggestions. The best suggestion is get a real Model 70 Pre-64 stock. Don't fool around with this aftermarket crap. I'm like, well, you do what you want with your rifle. But in terms of looking at this, this is just so cool. And I think it's going to be a good shooter as well. So also worth noting is this butt plate, which if you see has this really cool kind of curve, is called a Neidner, as is this cap down here. And I had some people on a social media forum point that stuff out to me. I didn't know that, but a lot of guys are all asking the same thing. That's either a Bishop or a Fajan. Well, basically the guy that started Bishop had a guy named Fajan working for him, and Fajan spun off, started his own company. Both brands ended up getting bought by Larry Potterfield, the Midway USA guy. And he owns the rights to patterns, so forth and so on. Well, in the meantime, one of the sons of the guy that started Bishop, started Macon Gunstock Company. And I was able to get a hold of him and have a discussion with him, and he's the one that told me about the grain of wood, what this is, so forth and so on. He also told me that if I wanted to get something like this in today's world, I'm looking at every bit of $1,700. At first, I found it a little bit difficult to believe that somebody would sell a stock for $1,700 just because of the type of wood and so forth, but absolutely can spend that kind of money on California Claro walnut and various other nice quality wood types. Here you see another stock that goes for north of $2,000. Now, I believe the one that I have is probably not worth that much. It's probably more like the first one. All of these companies are located in Warsaw, Missouri. Good area for lots of quality oak. Here you see the Bishop, and then this spinoff, which was Reinhard Fajan. A lot of the same patterns, a lot of the same craftsmen, all doing the same thing. And a lot of these designs now are kept alive by Macon Gunstocks, also in Warsaw, Missouri. And I strongly suggest you give these guys a strong look if you're interested in a custom wood stock. I can't tell you how many guys have told me two things. This needs to be checkered, or get rid of it. I'm screwing up the value. I need to put an original stock on it, a Winchester factory stock. I don't really like the Winchester factory stocks. And also, I'm not a collector, and that's the big thing. And there's a whole lot of guys with these pre-64 70s, that's like a thing for them, and I totally get that. You get that with pretty much every type of firearm. Sooner or later, there's guys that would not for their life put a set of aftermarket grips on a Smith & Wesson, things of that nature. But if you ask me, this totally improves this rifle from an appearance standpoint. And I can tell you right now that Winchester just didn't make a stock this nice, even with their higher end series. And there is, by the way, a market for guys that want a pre-64 action in outstanding condition, which this one certainly is, with a custom stock. So, you know, it really depends on who you are and what your definition of value is. But it's kind of entertaining just watching some people that, you know, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard that anybody would consider wanting to have a rifle in this configuration, and you know, more power to them. But I would say that in terms of this particular stock, the research I've done, the information I've learned about Macon, all good stuff. I have gone ahead and purchased a new stock and forend for my 1937 Model 8 because the stock developed a crack. So I don't have the option of putting a factory stock on there that's in any kind of decent shape, but nice new walnut one that I'm going to get from Macon Gunworks, and looking forward to that, and we'll talk about that when that comes. But this particular guy, we're not looking to put a stock on this from Winchester. I can get one for anywhere between $200 and $400 depending on the type and the condition, and that would bring the value of this tire rifle to less to what it would cost to get this stock. So I don't know how you calculate a value, but like I said, there's collectors and they're going to pay for certain things. There's guys that just love really super nice rifles like this one, and they're going to pay for certain things. So since I'm not going to sell it, it really doesn't matter. What we're going to work on with this guy, like I said, is lightening this trigger up. We've got it at about 4.5 pounds right now, and I'd really like to have about 2 less pounds of pull on it ideally. So anyway, I hope this little quick rundown on this wood, as well as not only this wood, but the company that can make stuff like this, and some of the other examples I showed were informative and interesting to you today. This is DR Drake 63 saying thanks for watching. Happy hunting.